Leo's Legion, welcome. Three down bros, Greg, Arthur, and Roland here after week 14. The Lions come home 7-6 after an incredible victory against the number one team in the league, the Montreal Alouettes. And I'll tell you what, my initial thoughts of that game was the complementary football was just that and more so because each unit made some mistakes and the other unit not only complemented but made up for it. So super happy with that. Arthur, your thoughts?
Hey, they overcame a lot of adversity. And, four turnovers, two were tip balls from the receivers, hitting the receiver's hand. So it's very unlucky. Um, I mean that fumble, I still don't see a replay of it yeah, Stanback really losing the ball, and I don't understand how the command center can overturn the call in the field, and then some I think some other lousy calls too, but hats off to the Lions. They overcame a lot of adversity. The turnovers put the defense in really tough situations.
Yeah.
And I think they minimized damage. I mean, they eventually let in one touchdown via turnovers, but there was a lot of short fields for Montreal's offense to work. So what they saw adversity, dealt with it, and overcame it. And I think on the road too, I think that's awesome with a lot of injuries as well.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And Roland,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. But before I go into what I think, welcome to all who's joining us tonight. So glad you can join us this evening. Please feel free to type in the chat any thoughts or comments you have, whether you agree or disagree with us or anything you want to say. Feel free to post it on the chat and we'll interact with you that way. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, my thoughts, completely agree. Adversity, lots of adversity. And the fact that we overcame it showed me that we brought up the intensity, a huge intensity. But the biggest thing that I saw was the running game with Stanback. Man, that guy was a beast. Especially that touchdown that he got. He just would not give up. He just kept going. And I think at some point the Montreal defense was, fearing him coming towards their way. He's going to feel a lot of pain. So we have a comment from Habs for Life 41. Hello, thanks for doing a Lions podcast. Love it. Thank you, Habs for Life. Glad you can join us tonight. Would love to hear your thoughts as we go along. But yeah, glad you can join us. Oh, I didn't show it.
No comments on his hockey team of choice there, Arthur. Just let him be.
It's all good. All good.
Yeah, all good.
We'll play nice. Hockey season's not started yet.
All good. But man, that was, he goes, haha.
Hey, we love them all. Come on. We're all CFL fans here. We all love Canadian sports. It's a great thing, Habs fan.
That's right. But yeah, so I thought we'll start off just looking at the highlight package. The highlights would be just to kind of get remind us again of how the game went, and then we'll go over and just get more thoughts on the game. So again, if you're joining us online, thanks for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. So please feel free to type on the chat, and we'll interact with you that way. So on to the highlights now.
Beautiful shot of the city.
Montreal, and the first meeting of the
Never
season
been.
between the BC Lions
Never
and
been
the
to
Alouettes.
Montreal.
The Lions at 6-6.
We got to go on a smoke meat tour, Arthur. 3 down bros in the smoke meat tour.
Sign me up.
All right, so this is the kickoff.
Underway here at Molson Stadium, and it's in the hands of Terry Williams now. Across the 30.
I know Greg. Greg
Good
doesn't
job,
like-
Terry. He does a good job. Does a good job.
44-yard line.
Yeah.
Take that anytime, right?
Anytime.
Yeah. So
And here we
stand
go.
back.
Early commitment to the run game right away.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Nathan's protection? Did he had decent time pretty much the whole game?
He did, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, they had some injuries, right? They have injuries on the O line.
Yeah, new guys on the O-line and still pretty decent protection.
Oh, and still able to run the way they did? Jeez.
Yeah, so
So-
you definitely, consider all things considered. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, I love this one. I love this one.
Good for Mac.
I usually put him on my fantasy, but the last few weeks he hadn't done much, so I took him out. I should have left him in.
Yeah.
Back to standby. Just look at that, right? He just won't give up. That's a revenge game for him. And Hollins, we've been complaining about Hollins the last few weeks. He's still not catching it with his hands, but
That's
he's
still body caught right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Van AR. Oh, welcome, Van AR. Thanks for joining our call. He says, should the Lions trade Adams for some O-line help?
I think in the off season.
Yeah, I think so too. I think in the off season. I think
among other things.
Yeah.
Because you got to see where other positions are going to be during the off season. But on that catch by Hollins, I mean, if he reaches out to catch with his hands, right? Is he? I think he's attacking that ball a lot sooner than waiting for it to come into his body.
Yeah.
Where that DB can just stick an arm in there.
Exactly. That's why,
right?
like Arthur and I think maybe there's something wrong with his hands because receivers know that's not how you're supposed to catch the ball. You don't catch it with your body. You catch it with your hands, right? So maybe with his wrist or it's not well or something. I don't know. But he's...
Wait. Where was that last year from Dominic Davis? Where was that kind of running for short yardage?
I know, yeah.
So is Van Aer talking just any position on the O-line or certain like some tackle, guard, Canadian?
This was the second interception. I don't think the highlight package had the first one, but that's
that was stand back, right?
The first one?
The first one was off the hands of McInnes on the other side of the field.
No, this is McInnes. Wait a minute. This is stand back. It's stand back.
It is stand. Yeah.
Yeah, stand back out of the back. Yeah, the other one was on the other side, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was the second one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it might be field.
No, that's McInnes.
Might be boundary again. Might be boundary side. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, there were three interceptions.
That's field side. No, it's field side. Yeah.
Two tips and then one. No, that's the stand. Yeah, okay, that's the second interception because the other one was was off McInnes and Hatcher made the catch. Made the tackle. I think.
So I was just gonna say to back up Hollins, if you catch the ball with your body, you wouldn't get a tip ball like that.
Okay, to catch your ball with the body, you got to have a 90-inch vertical to get up there to get.
So it would just sail over your head and fall safely in completion. Not just saying that you shouldn't catch with your hands, but
How far is his tongue in cheek on that one?
See, every player is giving that extra, with this game. So that,
Nate pump faked that one, and I think he was trying to get someone deep.
He had a lot of time on that too. That's a lot of time back there.
Yeah.
Just maybe a more mature.
So this second and 16 after that sack, and he converts.
That's a Mahomes type of play.
I love the way he changed the angle of throw attack on that.
That's totally Mahomes with a little sidearm.
Look at McInnes give that effort. That's tough.
This is beautiful.
Beautiful catch with his hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this dance.
Apparently, he's been waiting all year to do that one.
What a player! This guy's going to be a gutsy
right?
player. Yeah, he's going to be. I think he'll probably be a top 3 receiver for the Lions next year.
He's got no fear over the middle. That guy.
Yeah. Vikings chat report says Leos are back. They sure are. Viking chats reports.
I was going to ask that later on in the show. I'll throw my point out there.
I think they are back too. I agree with Viking chats, but yeah, Greg, you can give your point later.
I was happy the defense has taken major strides between Touchdown Pacific and this one. The defense, those last 2 games, huge difference. Oh, like that. Arthur, you don't seem to be taking in as much joy when Fajardo gets sacked now as a Montreal Alouette.
No, it's no longer he's no no longer a rider. So no, it's different now because he won his championship. He's no longer a rider. Yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe he took that as like his how he finished things off in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Maybe he learned. He's a good Christian guy, so he probably learned not to be so much of a diva. You got to give him a chance. It looks like he's. I don't know. Maybe we're far away. Toronto. Montreal media is not as intense as Saskatchewan media.
No, that was a good pass by Fajardo.
Yeah, and you got to admit he's making some major plays.
Yeah, there's no way anyone else could get that.
Good route by 17 by Spiker too.
And I'm also happy with him beating the Blue Bombers in the Great
Yes.
Year, so a little soft part of my heart for him now for that.
He's done something Nate hasn't done yet.
Oh, beautiful.
That was the highlight of my defensive night right there. Oh, happy for those two guys.
Man, that was just a bull rush.
So if you pause.
Okay, pause.
So that's a crucial part of the game, right? Montreal scores with no time on the clock at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
They kick off in the second half. That's like the first play.
Yep.
I believe of the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Montreal's got all the momentum, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
They just go after him, and kind of a hold on bets there, but
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course, no flag, and then they turn the ball over. They turn the ball over, and then they force a turnover, and they were able to get 3 points. Again, just totally.
Yeah.
Russell back some momentum.
Look at the effort by Tavai. He made the sack, and then he goes after the ball because Betts misses it.
That's the kind of effort I've been waiting for the D or the O to come out. Like when we come out after the half, whatever adjustments we make, we don't seem to have that intensity adjustment. We have maybe the play adjustment, iffy during the 5-game skid, but that's the intensity I've been waiting for. Second half opening, whatever, whether we're D or O. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Habs for Life says, so glad Betts is back. Instantly makes the whole line electric. Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Even if he doesn't make the sack himself, he drives the quarterback into the other players, or he just, by his own intensity, raises the intensity of the whole line.
He forces a double team on himself. So
He
now
has to be
other
accounted
teams, other teams maybe don't have to deal with a double team.
Yeah, for sure.
This Habs guy, he's got great insight. He needs to come to the show more often. Habs.
But it's not just the D line, the whole team, the whole defense and the offense. Every single player has an extra step, and that's why I agree with Vikings chat. The Leos are back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That run and Archie rolling.
Look at that bull rush. I wouldn't want to be in front of
They
that.
couldn't convert from the 5. That was, you know what? Still, you got the momentum back, right?
Yeah. Oh, is this the interception?
Yeah, that's the interception. So that was like, oh.
That was on him, and he knew
that one, yeah.
But this is where the D steps up. I mean, that could have been.
Actually, this is
a
where
lot worse.
The D, yeah.
Because they punch that in for a major.
Yeah. Again, it's another field goal. So.
Yeah. Viking chat says, winnable schedule. Hardest game we have left is Montreal again. Yes. And this time at home. Yes. Todd says, I think the team has been watching your podcast and taking notes. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
that.
Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
This is it. Roland's favorite play of the year.
My favorite play of the year. That's right.
Just would not go down.
Okay.
Hungry for the end zone.
We need to see that again. Is there a replay? Or I think there
Probably.
is.
Come on, this is like the play of the game.
And by this time, we've got a makeshift O-line too, correct?
Exactly.
I mean, I think the
Perkins is
interior
still
has
in.
been all
Perkins is
changed.
still in. I think Perkins goes out afterwards.
Okay, here we go. Here's the replay.
Mackey, nice block.
Which one's Mackey? The outside? Outside.
No, the inside. He takes out 31.
Okay, this is Mackey.
Which kind of, yeah. So
All
that
right.
gives Sandbeck a head start, and he's now running downfield.
Someone does a kick out right here too.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I know they're in the post game. They were saying Nathan was saying the receivers to a man were taking their run blocking to heart.
Yeah. So he sheds one block here. At this point, he has no more blocks ahead of him.
Nope.
And then-
He's
So
got
it's
a good
all him.
angle on that, the closest
A
tackler.
stiff
right
arm
too.
there, another stiff arm there, a little move there. Look at those 5 guys. Yeah, he was hungry. He just wanted that.
I like that pile of Alouettes laying there.
Yeah. So you're right, Arthur. This is my favorite play of the game. Not just because it was a TD. It just shows the heart. Like, stand back. He just would not give up. He's determined. He's going to get into the end zone, and that's it, right?
And then make the play into the end zone.
All teams have injury issues.
How good do you think he felt doing that in Montreal, huh?
I'm sure he did, especially after those turnovers.
First down.
Oh, I wish Covington was
Yeah,
faster there.
56. He was going his top speed.
Barely gets it away to Fletcher. Just in time.
Much better tackling this game too. When you got to tackle a shifty guy like Fletcher, who's just as quick too. I was much happier with the tackling today.
It started last week. The tackling improved last week.
Yep, that swarming tackling that we haven't seen in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was on a 3rd down conversion too.
So a spectacular
Well, hey, they're 10-1 for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Although I thought we were getting a little kind of.
and
And where was this?
we
never mind,
stopped
that's the
him.
same.
Yeah, but he got in the next. But I was having some conversation on Twitter. Jason Moss is showing a lot of aggression in terms of the play calls, taking a lot of risks.
you got to get lower than them.
Remember? Yeah, they're
No.
10-1.
Quarterback
That's
stay low.
AC though. Is AC
The linebacker
Collins on that?
On that touchdown run, stand back. Rourke.
So that was okay. If you pause again,
Okay.
so now they're down by 4. This is okay. That they scored that touchdown. They went for
Yeah.
that onside kick. They got the onside kick.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, oh no. I was like, oh no, right? And then Montreal was able to just get a punt single. So now Nate gets the ball back.
Yeah.
Right after all that has happened, and what does he do? He goes downfield to Katoy. It takes. I mean, he could have easily just said, "Oh, I'm just gonna like run it or do an out pass or hit my check down," but he stands in the pocket and he delivers a
Yeah.
big shot downfield.
Now, was this? Can you tell if this was the primary read? Was that the
It's
primary
hard to
read?
say. Like, you'd say you go through progressions, you go from left to right or right to left. Well, if there's looks like some kind of a blitz, 5 people. I don't know, but that is open. Yeah, they have a deep. Wow, look at those safeties are way back there.
But man, I love it when Katoy catches the ball.
We talked about how Montreal was aggressive with their play calling, right?
Yeah.
Like, going on 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that
The
short,
onside kick.
yeah.
But you got to give Rourke, the OC, credit for, like, you know what? I'm going deep here. We can nickel and dime, but we still need to score points. 8 minutes left. We can't nickel and dime. We're only up by 4. He goes for a decent play.
Yeah. So that's why I was asking: was this a primary read, the primary play, or was Nathan just taking what was open?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, because if it was the primary read, then I agree with you.
Their safeties on that one.
Yeah, if it's a primary read, then it's the OC. But if it's Nate taking what's open, then that's
Well, he's got to hang in there. There's pressure around him, right?
yeah.
And he had the guts, the wherewithal to go deep, because he's already had 4 interceptions tonight,
True.
right?
3. Yeah.
So 2 weren't his fault,
yeah.
or no, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. So he doesn't want to turn the ball over,
Yes.
and this is the only reason why Montreal's in the game, because of the turnovers. So
Yes.
to him to go deep in like with a lot of pass protection, a lot of guys in a zone defense,
Yeah.
I think it says something.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
a confident quarterback.
Yeah.
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 Wide open over the middle is Katoy. The Rouge making it a 4-point game. Back to William Stanback from the 40. Picks up another 5. His helmet.
Because we've been around. Lions of old you're up by 4 on the road. They're just gonna run the ball, do check
Oh.
downs, high percentage little ding plays, right?
Yeah. So I was
Or
gonna
do
make a
like the
comment.
10-yard outs. So yeah, this was a big. So
So-
Sandbeck,
Yeah, go ahead. Standback was out, right?
yeah. So then Mackey had to come in and he got this first down
Yeah.
on the ground, massive.
But to go
Yeah, Standback had the equipment trouble there.
exactly, yeah. And then Mackey gets the ball and he gets the first
Boom.
down, right?
He took on was it
Beverett and
Brevet, and then took him and pushed him and
But Mackey-
trucked him.
There was another play. I don't think it was in the highlight package where we saw Mackey. Someone was running the ball. I think it might have been Standback, and Mackey was right behind him, pushing him. I think that was Standback. So it just shows you the intensity, right? Viking Chat says more Standback help for more rushing yards. Better this week than last week. Yes, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see more Standback because I mean that's the whole reason why we got him, right? To replace Mizell. We needed this type of,
Who? Why is that?
the guy that's up in smoke. No pun intended. Pun intended.
Gotcha.
yeah, and Standback's pack.
Look at that
yeah,
push.
that one. This one here, right? Who was it? Who was holding on to Standback?
Pearson was just
Oh,
pushing
Pearson.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's rugby.
I mean that's what I want to see, right? Because it tells you they're gonna get every single inch that they can, right? So that's beautiful.
To the ground and legs chugging.
What do you think Standback's yards after contact were on average?
I think
2 to 3?
there's a stat. There's a stat. We can find it.
Down as he keeps the leg.
Some it's like TSN or CFL.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yes. That was beautiful. He said after the game, since Mackey did it, he didn't want to be. He wanted to get one done too.
He wanted to make a statement that he can do it too.
Yeah. I mean this is not just a momentum killer. It's like we okay. Let me stop. We talked about having that killer instinct, right? This is a killer instinct because when it's like second and short or third and short, and you give up tons of yards, or in this case, you give up a TD. That's a killer for the opponent, right? This is a killer instinct. Yeah.
Here we go again after the gain of 13.
Oh, so finally a bounce our way.
Yeah.
Defense.
BC gets in on
And it's the Mizell show again. Look at that. 9 yards.
Mizell, who's
Boom.
Mizell?
The Mizell show?
Sorry, Mizell. Stamp. No, it was the joke earlier. Nice cutback for McKinnon.
the number 2 quarterback to Nathan Rourke. Stand back.
And now believe we're at the makeshift offensive line, aren't we?
This one
Yeah. Because once we saw Pearson in, that means Perkins was out.
for William Stand
Yeah. So
who has a very
Man.
happy return to Montreal.
this game was beautiful.
Victorious side as the Lions improve to 7-6.
Yeah. So, all right. Now that we've got our memories refreshed, other thoughts from the game. And for those online, let us know too. What were you feeling at this point? What do you think? Have we turned the corner as a season? I think Viking Chat says that yes, we have turned the corner. Greg, you said that you might have different thoughts, but anyway, go ahead. Any thoughts?
Yeah, well, my jury's still out on the turning the corner. The defense is. I'm incredibly happy with the way the D's playing, and they're trending upwards. I'm hoping they haven't peaked yet. We've got some talent coming in JEC, I believe, is on the practice roster now, physically fit. Do we know how Keontae Evans is? Because I mean, with 2 starting corners out, and the number 1 team in the league, hanging around because of our turnovers. The D proved to me that they've almost turned the corner. To me, the upper body and one leg is around that building, but I still think the D can play a little bit better. And the offense can play a lot cleaner. So that's why I don't think they're completely back yet. But they string another 2 or 3 wins together with adversity staring them in the face. Then this guy will say they're back.
All right. Greg's
so,
Greg's a hard guy to please.
Yeah, well,
He's a hard guy to please. Oh,
that
yeah.
5-game skid. I mean, they couldn't have done much more wrong than that. But the D is there. Nate said himself, there's a lot of things they could clean up. But I mean, yeah, tip balls are tip balls. I mean, it is the best team in the league in their park, and that's a hostile atmosphere to play when the crowd's that close to the field, all that stuff. But I'll give the Lions 89%
All right.
back.
89%. Habs for Life says we had 4 turnovers and never trailed all game. Pass rush helps the secondary. Yeah, completely agree. That's a good point too, that we never trailed in spite of the 4 turnovers. And you know what that tells me, and I mentioned this during the game too while we were watching it, our defense was being called to go the extra mile, because not only are they supposed to to fight the offense, they're doing it on a short field, on a turnover, with very little rest, right? They just got off the field, there's a turnover, they're back on. And they're being asked to do a lot more than what they normally would. Mm-hmm. And they held, right? So, either no score or a field goal. And so I think I mentioned in one of my tweets, this W belongs as much to the defense as it did to the offense. Mm-hmm. Just because of overcoming those 4 turnovers is a lot. You have 4 turnovers, usually you lose the game.
If those 4 turnovers were touchdowns per turnover instead of field goals, that would have been disastrous.
Yeah.
But so no, I think the pass rush, like whether we get a sack or not, we're making the quarterback uncomfortable. That's what I want to see. I need to see that against Winnipeg, and then I'm beyond. Then to me, they're 1,000%
Winnipeg. You think Winnipeg's
always a Winnipeg
standard?
standard with Greg? It's always a Winnipeg standard.
You still think Winnipeg's a standard, not Montreal?
Oh no. I mean, because I was talking to some guys, and I seem to think, and I'm asking our viewership, the guys out there in Cyberland to disagree or agree with me. I think we've got Montreal's number in much the same way Winnipeg seems to have our number, because we always seem to play Montreal well. Even pre-Cody Fajardo days when AC was there, we always seem to play Montreal well.
At home, but in Montreal?
Yeah, we see. I mean, we didn't always win, but again,
we were terrible. We were terrible
there. Better than we played Winnipeg. That's just my opinion. And
we were terrible in Montreal. Well,
too much smoked meat. I get it. There's too many restaurants.
Well, I think is also they might do the 10 a.m. starts Pacific, right?
Yeah.
So that I think, and then over the years, just because since O'Shea's kind of gotten into Winnipeg and things have just kind of went against us, against the Blue Bombers. So yeah. Well, I think I think Winnipeg definitely, you could say, it has BC's number, and then I think it's pretty competitive, BC Montreal.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think on Labor Day? Because we used to have Montreal on Labor Day, but we seem to have Ottawa a little bit and Montreal this time. Because we don't have an interprovincial rival, but you know, I used to love the Montreal Labor Day games, but it hasn't happened in a while.
Well, it's a 50-50 shot, right? So I think two teams get a bye in this juncture, and the other 3 Labor Day classics are, I guess, solidified from before, right? So it's just these 3 teams, Montreal, Ottawa, and BC, that don't have a natural Labor Day rival. Yeah. So we kind of rotate between.
So other thoughts on the game? I mean, we talked a lot as we were watching it, but other thoughts from the game?
I think if we can get Hollins playing like that, more engaged, I think that it does help the rest of the receiving core. And I think that was a pleasant thing to see.
Yeah.
Katoy more involved, Hollins more involved.
Yeah.
I think that, and then with Hatcher, McInnes, and Eberhardt all playing a role, I think that's going to really help the offense if we can get Hollins playing like a top 3 receiver.
Yeah.
And, he has playing like a number 1, number 2 when Hatcher was not here. But I think that's a good development, because I'm not sure if Hatcher's back to being a number 1 receiver for the Lions.
Yeah.
Maybe the Achilles injury, he needs a little bit more time. But I think, like if Hollins can be like that number 2 receiver behind McInnes, that will just help the rest of the receivers kind of slot in properly.
Yeah. I mean, what I liked about this game was that we used all our receivers. So every single receiver had at least 2 catches. So Eberhardt had 2 catches, 2 out of 2. One was for a touchdown, and he had the least. Right, Hatcher had 3, Kotoy had 5, Justin and I mean those are targets. Receptions, Hollins has 6, Kotoy and McInnes has 4, Hatcher has 3. So it was spread around. Everyone had at least over 41 yards in catches. So yeah, our receiving core is solid. But one other thing about Hollins, we've been complaining about him a lot, right? Because his performance has dropped. But when you sent that 5-minute video that the Lions produced, there was a clip there where he was instrumental in firing up the team. So I guess there's something, we don't see that on the field, but what he does in the locker room to, as a leader in the team, that's something that we shouldn't discount as well.
And it's been said he's pretty vocal and animated, character-wise on the field, but in the locker room, he is a true leader guy. And again, the example and the way he talks to and relates to the guys is not to be discounted.
Yeah. So I sure hope if there's something wrong with his wrist or fingers or hands, I hope it heals up, because I think if he can catch with his hands, he'll be like how he was in the beginning of the season. Because if he's catching against his body, then that tells me something may not be quite right.
Yeah, we do need a deep threat. Right? McInnes, Hatcher, and then I don't know if they're going to really beat you deep, right? I mean, they're not like necessarily like speedsters, aka speedsters. So we do need Hollins as a deep threat to stretch the field a bit.
Yeah.
And the running game looks to have arrived. The commitment to the running game looks to be a lot more than it was to start off with. And I mean, Standback looks to be a man possessed, and I hope it stays that way for the rest of the year.
Yeah, commitment is the word, because even when Standback was out, they ran the ball with Mackey. So that's a commitment to the run, right? So, we've complained a lot about our offensive coordinator, but I think we've turned a corner there too.
And I mean, I think, when I heard, again, being at work and not being able to see the game in its entirety, when I heard both corners are down, both tackles are down, Broxton from last week, Perkins from this week, and they got slide guys all over the place, Packer going down. Right away, I'm thinking, I hear Roland's off-season Christmas wish list. We need to learn how to face adversity. And I would say, based on the last 2 games, the Lions are back or have arrived in that department for me, is now that they're not facing it, but they're welcoming it now. They're almost daring adversity to come in, and they're smacking it right in the mouth, defensively especially. Just when you've got both corners down against a really good passing offense, and you held them to the points we did, especially after those turnovers, that you can't take on adversity any better than that, I don't think.
Yeah.
But if anybody out there want to disagree or agree, I'll welcome it.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts? If not, we'll turn to look ahead. Any final thoughts?
I mean, I do want to say that I think the linebackers have also taken a step forward. We lost Josh Woods for the season early, and then Halatic. It's been a few weeks now, so you had Varga and Ely. I think they've. I mean, obviously when they started, it was we were still in that losing streak, but they've upped their play. It's I mean, I know the opposition OCs are attacking them.
Yeah.
Their drops, maybe they're not switching properly, right? But I think they're playing better and they're tackling better. So I think that's all help. I mean, I think having a pass rush, a bit improved pass rush helps.
Yes.
Whether it's Betts maybe beforehand, but definitely, Matthew Betts definitely contributes to that. A great pass rush helps the defense because the quarterback is off balance, and he's making suboptimal throws.
Yeah.
And then but then we notice that the linebackers and the DBs are much closer to the opposition.
They're
receivers.
a lot more aggressive now too. Since last week.
Play the line.
Since the Ottawa game. So something's changed. It was very visible to us, right? Even if the receiver catches the ball, they're right there to make the hit, and sometimes they'll end up dropping the ball.
Yeah, the closing speed has been noticeable now.
Yeah,
in the
well,
last 2 games.
in the past, in the 5 games before, we were so far away. They have enough time to cradle the ball, even if it's juggling. They have time to secure it. By the time we get there, and then we miss the tackle, then they get another 6-7 yards. Right?
Yeah. By the time we get there, they've gained that 5 or 6. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Okay, we can say it now. I mean, everybody knows they listened to the Three Down Bro podcast. They had that players only meeting. They did everything that each one of us has recommended, and look where they are now.
That's what Todd said. Todd, I'm going to bring up your comment again. Okay.
See? And Coach Campbell took off his shirt. That's all it took.
Oh yes. Well, that was after the game.
Yeah, so maybe that was the motivation. He said, "I'll take off my shirt if you guys beat Montreal." We're not doing that on this show, though. I don't think, are we?
Greg is. Greg is.
Yeah,
oh,
Greg.
No.
Yeah, I can. I need to put a censor sign before you do it.
One of them.
That was cool that he did, though, because it just, it's fun, but it builds the team camaraderie.
Yeah,
right?
it takes the barrier down too. I mean, there is that difference between coach and player, but when the player realizes that the coach is still, I'm not trying to quote one of them, and the coach is, can have fun with them, I think that makes a huge difference with today's player versus the Chris Jones kind of coach that's out there.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I come out too loud, too clear? I don't know.
So anyway,
you want to see him with this? You want to see Chris Jones without his shirt on? Greg?
No, I didn't do that. No. Hamilton can have that.
All right.
But yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row.
3.
Yeah, that it was a tough game both weeks. So really tough last week. This week even tougher. We had a short week against the best team in the league. I'm convinced. So I think if we can maintain whatever it is that got us to have this intensity, we just need to keep doing that.
Yep, bottle it up.
It's not a lack of skill. It's not a lack of techniques. It's a lack of intensity. That's why we lost those 5 games. I think that's
like
the biggest
Aiden
key.
Everhart says. It's a lack of this. I think they've got it back now. They're playing with a lot more of it. Definitely.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we've got Toronto on the horizon.
Yes.
And
okay, thoughts on
then a
Toronto?
bye. Then
And
a
a
bye.
bye. Yeah. So thoughts on the
they're
Toronto
They're
game?
2-4 in this 7-game segment.
And what were we
that we
calling for?
talked
4 and 3, right?
You put 4 and 3.
Well, we were a little. We mixed up the numbers. If they can pull this one off at home against Toronto,
I thought they would take one of the Winnipeg games. I didn't think they get swept.
or shut out. I never thought they'd get shut out.
Yeah. Well,
And then and then they lost to the Elk. So
Which everybody seems to be doing now, much to the happiness of my mom. Hi, Mom.
Todd says maybe being in Victoria was what they needed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Todd, you might be right, because there was a different feel for the game in Victoria, and I think that the players were able to feed off of that. Just that different feel, and just the how close they were to the fans. So that might have something to do with it. That could have been the turning point, right? I think you have something there. Yeah. All right, Toronto game. Let's go with Arthur first. How do you think it's going to turn out? What are your predictions?
So at home against Toronto.
Yeah.
Toronto did not look good, mind you. There's 2 pick sixes.
Yeah.
In that score.
It was raining. The ball was slippery.
Oh yeah.
All things equal in the dome, though.
Yeah. There was an article by 3 Down Nation who defended Chad Kelly, saying that he still played well in spite of the score.
I see. Okay, but that defense still 30-some points they let, right?
Yeah.
Let in. I'm thinking Lions win by 7, so 32-25 Lions.
Okay. 32-25. Greg?
Lions
Well,
are
well oh,
home.
sorry.
They-
While Greg is thinking, you guys on the chat, let us know what your predictions are as well, and we'll post it up. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
No problem. Lions have been putting up 30, and we said 30 something points on the road is a definite victory, and we did 30 points at home against Ottawa. I'm going to say 31-26 Lions.
31-26. Okay, that's pretty close to Arthur's, right? Arthur's was 32.
32-25.
Yeah,
Win by 7. Griggs win by 5.
yeah. So,
There's got to be some of those single ruses in there just for roll.
well, it's okay. So Ottawa scored 41 on Toronto.
So their
So-
defense is going to want to make up for that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I think we're better than Ottawa. So I'm gonna say
Ooh, can we hit a 50 spot?
I'm gonna say 42-30.
Ooh,
42-30 for BC.
30. That's going to be
RG's going to
entertaining.
give up 30 points? Ooh.
Yeah, actually, maybe not even 30. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's say
Well, you got
42.
to see who's injured in the secondary.
Well, yeah, because there's no report on Ciante yet, right? Gary Peters came back to play,
Yeah.
but is JEC ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here, though, since we're pondering. Are there still viewers hanging around, watching, listening?
Yeah.
If the Lions hit 45 points,
Take off your shirt.
no, I want to keep our viewership, man. Okay, if the Lions hit 45 points, I am going to buy again. I'm going to buy these two bros of mine a beer of their choice.
All right. That sounds like a good deal.
No, you know what? Two
You
beers
still owe
of
me.
their
You
choice.
still
Two.
owe me that beer for Nathan Rohr.
That I do. That I do.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
you
so
told me
Arthur
so.
gets 3.
I told you so, Gray.
Yes, I said let it go. It came right on back and smacked me in the face. That's okay. I stand corrected, and I'm happy to be wrong. Happy to be wrong. I really did not think it was going to happen this year. Really, I did not.
You didn't even think it was going to happen at all.
No, because I figured he was good enough to catch on down there. The stuff
Yeah.
he faced, the crap and BS that he went through down there. Again, I'm a much more fan of our league than that one. I don't care how much money, how much power, how much swagger they got. This way, I'm still happier with this league. But nope, if the Lions hit 45, these guys are getting
Yeah.
multiple beers.
All right. all
Fans,
right.
you heard
All
it here.
right.
That sounds good. I think
That's
it's
better
very
than
doable.
free pizza.
That's true. I think it's doable because in the Ottawa game this week, Chad Kelly lots of times looked lost. Ottawa was pretty intense.
Chad Kelly is lost.
So I think we can do better than Ottawa in terms of disrupting his game.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. If from memory, when Nathan was on that wonderful beginning pace of his when he first kind of came on the scene, he kind of took it to Edmonton and Toronto, did he not? So yeah, I'll be happy to buy those beers. Let's just see if
Okay.
they hit that 45 point mark, because always know when they start to get in the upper 30s, I'm always asking for 50. You guys know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm not going to be greedy this time. I'm going 45.
All right. Sounds good.
I'm not going to buy the fans in the dome pizza because I can't afford that. I'll leave that up to Pizza.
Okay. So I think that's it. Any final thoughts before we end the show? People online, if you have any final thoughts, let us know as well. Final thoughts. Let's start with Greg. Just in general, where the Lions are at right now, what needs to be done to secure the first place on the West.
I think just continue to trend upwards. Continue to build on the previous game. So Ottawa was a great launching point. Look what happened in Montreal. In spite of those turnovers, they still took it to the best team in the league. Continue to build on that. And I think if they stay committed to the run game and stand back and the O-line continue to play with an attitude and an intensity, I think first place is very doable. Winnipeg is not perfect. I only keep referencing that not because I have a Winnipeg standard. I just have a hatred for the blue and gold. I'm sorry. I've had that hatred since high school, which is another story we can go into on a documentary about three down bros if we ever do that. But yeah, no. Again, continue to trend upward and stay with that running game, because that running game opens up a whole other amount of possibilities offensively with misdirection and a whole play action, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
RPOs. So continue to stick with what they've done and continue to build
Okay,
upwards,
wonderful. Awesome.
expand.
Okay, great. Thanks,
Arthur.
Greg.
Or Roland, whoever. Yeah.
I think the coaching needs to take a step forward, an additional step forward in terms of their aggressiveness. Roland, we mentioned during the game how aggressive Jason Moss was.
Yeah.
He went for on third down, went for the onside kick, very aggressive on the front foot using a soccer analogy.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we get a little too
Yeah.
complacent, a little too conservative, a little too, let's just stick with what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I think thinking outside the box a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that's the next progression. If we add the intensity of the players, hopefully our coordinators, our head coach can take our play calling and variety and aggression to another level.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be really good. So, apart from committing to the run, mixing in some other types of run plays, but not out of a standard formation, single back formation. I want to see a little bit more motion, more variance, jet sweeps, whatever. They're kind of like running plays, but getting outside the tackles. And we don't go deep much anymore. Maybe that's not within Nathan's.
We did
comfort
last week,
spot.
right, in Ottawa, that ended up in a pass interference.
Yeah, and we're getting bailed out on these pass interferences.
Yeah.
But when VA's the quarterback, we were attacking deep more. And that's probably more VA's strength.
Yeah, that's more his game, yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to see, attack vertically, attack with scheme. I think we need to attack more on all sides of the ball versus more complacent, more, bend, don't break.
Yeah.
How about you, Roland?
Yeah, good points. Good points. I agree completely with with being more aggressive on the play calling. That's one thing I really surprised me, but also I admire about Jason Moss. They've secured a playoff spot, and they're likely going to end up as number one in the East. They didn't have to win this game. When after the first two quarters, when they were behind and they were not letting anything click. Other coaches would have put in their backup quarterback, give him some reps, basically just given up on the game. It's not a must-win game for them, but they played like it was a must-win game, right, all the way to the very end, and that's a killer instinct, right, and that's something that I would like to see. So I agree with you completely. I think you've covered my points. I think in terms of the intensity, I just want to. I think that's really key because even the weaker players, like we swapped. We have new players on the O-line, and they had the intensity. We had new players on defense, and they had the intensity. It's contagious, right? Mm-hmm. So when the whole team has that intensity, it brings up the level of play with everyone, even with the new guys, right? So I think we whatever it is that turned the corner for us 2 weeks ago, we just need to keep maintaining that. And then on top of that, like what you said, right? Keep the commitment on the run game. Yeah. I think as we get closer to the Grey Cup, that we've seen time and time again in the past, right? The running game becomes more and more important, and that's why I think we have turned the corner because we now have all the. I think we have all the keys we need to win. In previous seasons, we knew we had deficiencies, and we were trying to cover the different deficiencies in the team. We had a good pass rush, getting all the sacks last season, but then we were very weak against the run, right? Things like that, right? But now it seems like we have, we don't have any big. Our biggest weakness up till 2 weeks ago was our defensive secondary, and that's closed up. We've got injuries on the linebacking core, like what Arthur said, but I think with the intensity, they are stepping up. They're still making mistakes, right? They're not perfect, but they're playing.
Well, they got to learn. They're learning.
Yeah, they're playing good enough. And like what you said, Greg, there's still a lot of improvement, and I'm hopeful that they will keep improving, and so we'll peak as we get towards the Grey Cup. So I'm very hopeful.
Got to beat Winnipeg and get first in the West.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to Winnipeg.
That's right. We're not going to meet them anymore until the playoffs.
So we just got to concentrate on being who we are, doing what we need to do, and then let the chips fall where they may. Because we can't depend on anybody to beat Winnipeg. We just got to worry about continue to win.
Yes,
Exactly.
I'm hoping that the back-to-back with Edmonton, that Winnipeg will lose at least one of those.
Oh, if Edmonton can knock off Winnipeg, one of those two, Edmonton's confidence will be sky high. Guarantee that. I mean, if it's not already there now.
Yeah. So, yeah, but if
And
they
it's
can
all
knock
because
off,
of Jarius Jackson and only Jarius Jackson. I'm going to just go on record saying.
yeah, because we are tied with Winnipeg. We can't end with a tied record
No,
with Winnipeg
Cannot.
because they have the tiebreaker on us.
Yeah, and the woulda, coulda, shoulda department, it would have been nice if Saskatchewan could have taken one of those two.
I know.
Because even if they had taken one of those two, the Saskatchewan wouldn't have mattered to us because we have some breathing room with them now. So
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah. It's all right. Makes it exciting. This year's really super exciting on the West.
Very exciting. It'll be good. That West race is going to be good. See how it transpires. Edmonton's surging. Winnipeg's surging. BC's kind of right of the ship. Now Saskatchewan, just and a bit of a tailspin.
Saskatchewan's right there though. Like they
Every
could
game.
have won. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they don't have as much to fix as say Calgary.
Calgary's a little bit tough right now. They put Bonner in, right, and I felt for him. He's, I hate to say it, but Mayer looked better. So
That's not saying much with the way Bears been playing in those two Labor Day games. But again, Edmonton's playing a different level than they came into the season with. Like,
yeah,
Well, Dave Dickinson wants to see if Bonner can be the backup to VA next year. So that's what's going on.
are we stirring a pot for the next upcoming episode?
Well, I'm just saying. I think I was telling Roland. I think VA is going to end up in Regina or Calgary.
Oh, I'd rather see him somewhere, say, like Eastern.
Well, I mean, maybe Hamilton, right?
A Western team, I don't know if that would
Toronto.
be prudent.
well,
I mean,
yeah.
look what Stanback's doing to his old team. I don't know if I want to see VA in a Western
Yeah.
I mean,
team.
that's what's going to happen, right? There's some holes at quarterback, and VA would help them, and they would probably pay quite a bit.
yeah. for
Okay,
sure.
how about VA
quarterback.
for Micah Awe, his 10th time as a line?
No,
Maybe I
no,
lost count how many times Micah
You want
Awe.
Canadian talent. You want good Canadian talent on the line.
We need
First round
some-
draft pick, because you're going
And
to
that
give one up.
decapitating linebacker that you've always coveted, Arthur. Come on, say it. You can
Well,
say it.
I mean, we'll see what the rest of the year goes, right? You got some guys coming back, and you got these two young guys, Ely and Varga. Let's see what kind of ceiling they can have.
Yeah,
And then you make your calls. I mean, you don't have to make the call now, right?
yeah.
No.
But I mean, you're gonna be trading in the off season anyways. Hey, weirder things have happened. Who knows? Maybe VA leads us to a Grey Cup, and they just make a change. Who knows, right? Most
Yeah.
likely not. I mean, I'm most likely gonna stay with Nathan because he's a bit younger. But hey, crazy things
Yeah,
have
you never
happened in
know.
the CFL. This is the CFL, man.
Yeah,
Crazy things happen.
You can get hurt anytime, and then your next guy up, right?
Hey, we won't be mentioning that, guys. Come on, don't be mentioning it.
Yeah, no, I won't mention it. But what I want to say about
trend up.
what I want to say about VA though is that I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and actually the whole team,
Yes.
Yeah.
not just the players, coaches, and management do as well. So My only wish for him is that he lands in the best possible spot for him. So I want him to go, if we're going to trade him, I want him to go to a team where he's going to be the number one guy. No question, like no doubt, where he can do well and he's he's protected, like not behind like some weak porous O-line, right? So
He's got
whatever
pieces around him.
yeah, so whatever team that is. So if that's a Western team, then I'm okay with that. Not because I not because I want BC to lose to that team, but because I want the best for VA, given what he's done
earned
for
it. He has earned it, and he's
given what he's
deserving
done
of
for
it.
BC, right?
Yeah.
And I know a defense that can stop him. I know a type of defense that can stop him.
Yeah. Well, another show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we are in that position, then we'll take those words of wisdom. All right. So I think let's call it a night. Those online, thanks for hanging with us. We love chatting with you. If you're watching the show after the live stream, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you as well. Otherwise, we'll catch you next week. If you're in the game, come drop by and say hi to us. We're in, what's our section again?
246.
246. Yeah.
Yeah, come and say hi.
All right.
Just get a picture and see
Yes.
us. We'll do our live recap after the game, so you can come by and say hi.
Yeah.
And our shirts will stay on.
Except for Greg's. Greg's is coming off at 40 at 55 points.
50. I don't want to be thrown out of BC Place Stadium. I don't need that on my record, man.
Hey, if Murray Pezum can do it, then so can you.
Murray Pezum got a lot more money than me at that point in time. And he owned the team, man. Come on.
All right.
But again, weirder things have happened, but no.
Take care, everyone. Have a great evening. Have a great week. We'll see you
Have a good
next
show.
time.
Have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.